We learn how a single moment in terms of your applied and awakened imagination can revolutionize your life. The key takeaway from today is about not reacting to external circumstances, but about creating them. This shift can change our life patterns entirely. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Inner Work Mastery channel. I'm your host, Fazila Bijo, helping you master reality creation and manifesting the dreams of your life. In this video, we're diving into some of the profound insights from Neville Goddard on how to truly use imagination to transform your life. Imagine living a life where you're not reacting to your external circumstances, where you're not just reacting to the world, but you're actively creating it. This is what it means in terms of creating your reality. That's what we're going to be exploring in this chapter 14 of Neville Goddard's Law and the Promise. It's a chapter called The Creative Moment. We'll be exploring and understanding this powerful moment of creativity when you envision things as you desire them to be, not just as they appear. Up to now, we've looked at the law in terms of the preceding chapters. From this chapter, in this video and the next videos, we're going to be looking at the promise. In this and the next chapter, we discuss the promise. And this video is for you if you want to know more about learning the secrets to creating your reality. We learn how a single moment in terms of your applied and awakened imagination can revolutionize your life. Neville describes a creative moment as when our wishes are not just imagined, but when they are deeply impressed into the subconscious mind. This shift can change our life patterns entirely. And therefore, we're encouraged to live from the end, knowing that our desires are totally fulfilled in imagination. The key takeaway, don't just react to life circumstances. Instead, consciously choose the end result that you desire. You must have a very clear, defined, desired outcome. I speak about this in my video prior to this one, and I'll link them in the description box below so that you can find what Neville talks about and why it's so important to have a clearly defined aim or desire. This practice aligns with the awakened spiritual self, helping your future to slide seamlessly and effortlessly into your present. I trust that this video is engaging and inspiring, one that is going to help you understand some of the complex concepts to make it relatable and help you take actionable insights. This leads us into understanding the difference between natural man and spiritual man. Now, this is a quote from the Bible, and I want to highlight to you if you are not aware of Neville Goddard's work. Neville Goddard decoded the Bible as a metaphor for psychological drama within man. There's nothing religious about the quotes that appear in Neville's work. An understanding of how man is a creator being and how he has the power to harness his imagination and create his reality. So the natural man does not receive the gifts of the Spirit of God, for they are folly to him. And he is not able to understand them because they are spiritually discerned. Neville says here that the natural man misses out because he doesn't know or recognize gifts of the imagination. He is someone who is solely focused on the material world. Spiritual gifts may actually seem to be foolish or incomprehensible. Now, this is because such gifts transcend ordinary logical and sensory experience. And so we see that Neville says the natural man is based on logic and he's purely invested in the physical, material, or the practical world. And there's nothing wrong about that. But if we are to only focus on this aspect of life, we become imbalanced. The natural man only exists what the senses witness and logical reasoning. So he is pretty much limited by conventional ways of thinking. He does not receive the gifts of imagination, nor does he believe in the power of imagination. He is not spiritually aware. When we look at the spiritual man understands the power of imagination. He understands and he knows about the gifts of imagination. He receives deeper inner experiences and insights. There's a level of spiritual discernment that takes him to the deeper level of perception and understanding that goes beyond the surface level of logical thinking and solely looking at what is happening in the external physical world. He remembers things as they ought to be and not as they seem. And this is because the spiritual awakening or realization, it involves moving beyond the limitation of conventional thinking. When the spiritual man embraces spiritual discernment, he can access and utilize these profound gifts. And that's what the promise is about. It's the true understanding and the ability to harness spiritual gifts. And it's making that shift from being purely logical material thinking to becoming more spiritually attuned awareness. And I want to emphasize, underline, bold, and highlight there is nothing wrong with desiring the material joys, pleasures in life. The natural man is solely realized on the physical world being his source and his supply. And the spiritual man knows that his source, his supply is from his consciousness, from his I am, from his level of God, the creator. Here's a profound quote from William Blake. And he says here, there is a moment in each day that Satan cannot find, nor can his watch fiends find it. But the industrious find this moment, and it multiply. And when it once is found, it renovates every moment of the day, if rightly placed. So Blake says, imagination has the power to positively influence and transform the rest of the day. He suggests that Blake talks about that single meaningful conscious engagement that we have with the divine can have a ripple effect in our life, improving and renewing every subsequent moment. Why? Because the shift has happened dramatically. It's shifted his pattern entirely from being just the natural man into the spiritual man and into spiritual discernment. That time in each day that is deeply spiritual, the moments of deep insight, inspiration, and connection with the divine are available to those who actively seek it. So you must desire it. These moments, when embraced, can have a profound and lasting change in one's life. And this is from where we are now available to the gifts of imagination and the creative force within us. And Blake's message here highlights the idea that that precious transformative moment in each day, when we discover it, when we use it with intention, it has the power to renew and enhance every aspect of our life. This moment is a gift for those who are diligent and spiritually attuned. They are capable of bringing about significant positive change. The special moment, what Blake suggests, is that within each day, there exists a unique but fleeting moment that is not accessible to malevolent forces, represented by Satan and his watch fiends. I'm going to break down what Neville talks about and what the meaning of Satan is. And it's not a malevolent being, and it is not an evil entity, etc. He says those special moments, that creative moment which is special can only be discovered if one is diligent and perceptive. As we'll hear, when you desire to have the mystical visions, when you desire to have the mystical experiences, because you desire it, it comes into your life, and you alone make the choice for that to turn up. The role of the industrious, Blake says, the industrious refers to individuals who are proactive, attentive, and dedicated in their pursuit of spiritual or personal growth. These individuals will find that special moment through their focus, attention, and awareness. That transformative power. When this moment is found and used wisely, it has the power to positively influence and transform the rest of your day. So this is revision on a whole other level. That single moment, that conscious engagement, that has a ripple effect because spiritual man sees things as they ought to be for him and not as they show up in his 3D world, in the physical world. He's not limiting himself to the physical world, but he sees things as he would like them to be. And that is what revision is about. We forgive, we look at what are the things that we have erred on, and we rewrite them, and we forget. And that total transformation happens when you forget about the old past and you look at what is it that what has the potential here? What desire do I have that I think is in the future? It's about making that future time now within yourself in imagination. There's renewal and impact. This passage implies that the moment has the potential for significant renewal and improvement if properly utilized. And therefore, it highlights the impact this moment can have depending on how we engage with it. Which suggests that there is a spiritual dimension to its use. Blake's message is deeply spiritual, and it emphasizes the moments of deep insight, inspiration, and connection with the divine is available to those who actively seek it. That there is a precious and transformative moment in each day. When you discover it and you use it with intention, it has the power to renew and or enhance every aspect of our lives. This moment is a gift for those who are diligent and spiritually attuned. It's capable of bringing about significant positive change. So the creative moment is when man's spiritual work is done. When he imagines that creative moment, all great events start to mold and shape the world in alignment with that moment's blueprint. The blueprint is the desire. The desire is the seed. When you plant the seed, if you take the analogy of planting a tree, the seed is going to be a certain type of tree. If it's an apple tree, it's never going to become an oak tree. And so too with your desires. When you have a defined aim, when you have a defined desire, and you solely focus on that, and you utilize the creative moment to deeply impress your subconscious with your desire, that is the blueprint that unfolds in terms of your life. And our dreams will all be realized from the time that we know that imagining creates reality, and we act with that conviction. However, more than just creating reality, Neville says, imagination seeks from us something much more deeper and more fundamental than just creating things. Nothing less indeed than the recognition of its own oneness with God. And this is it. God himself is doing the work and working through man, who is all imagination. Neville teaches that imagination is a profound tool that we can use to create our reality. But more than that, it is a connection to the divine, and it's a connection, and it's an enhancement of our spiritual growth and our spiritual development when we use our imagination. Inner conviction is that I see it on the inside, in my inner reality. This unfolds into my outer world as well. So always define your desire, but stick to the end. What is my desired outcome of this wish when it is fulfilled? And only stick to that. Live from that in imagination. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content on harnessing the power of your imagination. Keep imagining and creating the best version of your life.